So this video, I want to go back in time and talk about my trip to Japan back in fall 2023. Went in October by myself again. Um, I I was deciding to go with my GFX and two lenses, along with the XH2s and its lenses, but having to suffer through a back injury in August, I was going through PT, and my therapist and I both well recognized that carrying all that camera gear on my back would really become a detriment to me and not only make it painful, but also push back whatever gains I had in terms of my back recovery back even further. To this day, I still have back injury, injury in my back. Well, not like from that one, but I am definitely sure it's from accrued damage from carrying all the camera gear. So let that be a lesson to all you who are listening in. While our cameras are great and all, and we have our decisions and goals and that sort of with what we want with our camera gear, either use a roller bag or be very conscious about the fact that if you're wearing a backpack with camera gear, in time your lower back is going to will feel the strain. Anyway, so at the time I only went with when I went to Japan, and that time I only took my Fuji XH2s, the 23mm, 33mm, and 56mm, and an iPad. On my day-to-day in Japan, I'll choose one of those lenses and then try to make work with just one lens and the camera to not only minimize what I'm carrying per day, but also to be creative with my work. So if I just have like a 35mm focal length or 23 for the XH2s at the time, I'd only have that to work with my images. Obviously, some days I did take out two, but for the most part, I try to limit myself to not only save weight, but also be creative with my work. So I obviously wanted to also, I don't have it on hand, to like bring my little light with me to help flash my food, but I realized soon afterwards that caused a disturbance for other guests in Japan, and that's something you do not mess around with in terms of the culture. So I pretty much left the flash back in my hotel room, but just carried that small setup for the photos and videos. So that's leading me to, talk in hindsight about my trip with the clips I've taken there and try to put it all together. I'm hoping to go back to Japan in October or November this year again. Who knows what our future might hold, considering who's going to start his administration for the next 4 years or so. Anyway, so yeah, that's the plan for me for this year's for the future for traveling. In terms of traveling, I mean, is to go back to Japan and hopefully go back to Vietnam as well. So depending on how much PTO I have, I want to go back to Japan and Vietnam. I do want to check out Malaysia. My friend Angie tells me all sorts of good things about it, and I do want to go. But sometimes you just want to go back to Japan and go to Tokyo and hustle around Shibuya and all that stuff, looking for high quality boots from Japan. You just gotta. So yeah, let me put this cup back. So yeah, this setup is kind of weird, having my desk behind me and just talking to the camera like this. So yeah, that's my current travel plans. But for this particular video, again, I will probably narrate some clips if I'm not already talking, because there are some sit-down clips I've made in the hotel room when I was in Japan, but for the most part, it's just me just running, gunning. I obviously did not have as much skills shooting a video as I do now, and even now I'm still working on trying to get better with my video, so I don't want to say don't expect too much, but don't expect too much. I'm still trying to make my videos look as cinematic as possible. Really, I just want to make them look really cool and captivating. Maybe. I hope. Fingers crossed. But, so yeah, I'm going to get to the clips, and I'll narrate it, and then I'll see you on the flip. Welcome to Ted's series in Japan. I arrived yesterday after a long flight. I left Denver. Well, I left from Philadelphia. It's my original destination, and then I caught the flight to Denver. And then, well, we were supposed to go to Denver, but we had to stop at Colorado Springs because of the fog density at the airport in Denver. And then when we finally got to Denver, we had a 3-hour delay. And then, all that said, it took us way too long to get to Japan. And we arrived, at least touchdown at 7 o'clock at night. So it was a hustle just to get all my pocket Wi-Fi thing, I guess my card for my JR rail, because I bought the 21 days. And I got to my hotel here at close to 10 o'clock, or not at 10 o'clock. So I'm awake, I'm jet lagged. I bought Brista Black. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe you can. But I'm in my Elixir t-shirt. So don't judge me on my choices of the vending machine coffees. They got the classic 7-Eleven egg sandwich, a pork bun bao or bun as they call it here, and an onigiri to start me off this morning because I'm pretty hungry. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make vlogs. I'm gonna try to make videos. That's why I brought the XH2s with me to Japan instead of my GFX, because also the GFX is too heavy and I injure my back. Every time I get back to the hotel, I would do my physical therapy exercises to, keep the progress of my physical therapy going, especially since I've been carrying around lots of camera gear. Even though I minimize it, just my Fuji XH2s and iPad and that sort, it's still weight on the back. So this is me squatting in my PJs. At this point of the trip, I'm in Osaka. I stayed here for about 4 days, and I took a day trip to Kyoto to go to the Fushimi Inari Shrine. It's the massive shrine everyone goes to in Kyoto. I took the offbeat trails to avoid all the people who are taking the main trail through all those pillars. It was just way too many people, and I needed to escape. Made it to the top of the shrine. They also give you cards of the particular coffee you get. This one is from Kenya. Hold on, let's read it. It's a wash process. This is the coffee. My Kenyan pour over. So after Mel Coffee Roasters, I went to Oahu in the middle of Osaka because I wanted to get pastries and then make a reservation for their tasting menu that I went to later in that evening, or I think the next day. I don't remember the specific day when I went, but I had their cannoli, their tart, and one other pastry. They were both good. The cannoli wasn't as good as Amanda's at Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I'm pretty biased towards Amanda's desserts and pastries and treats. But it was pretty good. And then obviously I went to the river to get some more takoyaki, to watch the boats go through the canal, and just walk around, take street photos and clips. Since most of my diet in Japan has been ramen, udon, curry, soba, and dango, I went to Oahu to do their taste menu. The chef is a French trained chef, and it was very different and very delicious. It was 8 courses, I think, for $75, which is, in terms of like a tasting menu, it's actually pretty decent, and the food was really good. So yeah, if you're in Osaka, go check out Oahu. If you're tired of the tsukemen, ramen, curry kind of cuisine. At least when I went there for the taste menu, it was just the chef and his partner, wife. I'm not sure. I didn't ask about that, but yeah, it's just basically him doing the cooking and prepping and that sort. His partner did the wedding pairing, and later in that evening, they gave me tips and suggestions to what to do and eat in Fukuoka, which is where I went to after Osaka. Actually, Oahu was the last actual dinner I had in Osaka before I went to Fukuoka. I definitely took their suggestions, even though it was hard to understand what they were saying in English, but through Google Translate, I pieced everything together. So I'm in Fukuoka right now. I left Osaka yesterday morning. Got here at about like, I would say 1 o'clock. Dropped off my stuff. I guess maybe it was a language barrier, but they said I could do early check-in, which I said no. I'd have to pay 2,000 yen, which is $20, which isn't too terrible, but at the same time, I don't want to spend that kind of money for something that's so trivial. Then when I asked them to hold my luggage, they said I had to pay too. It's like, what? That's a chin scratcher? And then I looked at their sign, it says free, they could hold our luggage for free. I'm like, so I pointed out. So they held my luggage. I didn't have to pay, thank goodness. That'd be weird. So, I mean, then when my first meandering around Fukuoka was just to look for a little bit of coffee because I had about 2 hours to kill. Check-in's usually at 3 o'clock for APA hotels. So I went to this one coffee shop called, actually I forget what it's called, but definitely it was alright. It served its purpose. I tried their honey latte. It was nice. It wasn't terrible. It was, it tastes like a latte. And then the hot sandwich was pretty much like a hot pocket of ham, cheese, and some herbs. It was like how it was made. It was like how my mom used to make me sandwiches back when I was a kid. It was like in a like a panini press or some kind of press that was squish the sandwich down and then seal the sides of the bread to like seal in all the ingredients and cheese and heat inside the toasted bread. That felt like a blast from the past. And then afterwards I went to this little pastry shop that's right around the corner from me to eat a little cake. Maybe I'll make another. I'll put that in like B-roll or something to show the cake. But anyway, that's why I did. And then when I finally checked in at 3, I dropped my stuff off, charged my batteries because all my cell phone, my watch, my Wi-Fi router, they were really running low. I left my portable battery pack in my other bag, so that had to be, all those units had to be charged before I could go back out. So when I did go back out at 4 o'clock, I went to Nakasha, I think. Hold on. This is my maps. I went to look for the yotai stands. So I originally walked towards Nakasu Island, or Nakasu, which is just basically like a shopping center. Not really an island. Maybe it was. I just couldn't tell. And then I walked down to Zeryu Park, where there was a lot of outdoor food stalls, like food trucks and that sort. This one person was like singing. I'm glad she's telling the truth or expressing herself, but a lot of the notes were very flat and she was belting it. But, props to her for having the courage to do it. It sounds probably negative. Anyway, so I went there, I had a dango, I walked around, then I walked all the way towards Center City for the yotais. They wouldn't start till 6, so I just walked and took video and photos of them setting up, and then when one yotai was ready, I wanted to get going for some gyoza, which is Japanese dumplings, and they said I was required to buy a drink. I'm like, I just want food, but they're like, no, I'm required to buy a drink. Like usually I enjoy drinking, not too much, but I do enjoy it, but I don't like being required to do so. So I apologized and picked my stuff up and left. I went to another yotai because I wanted to try Odin, but it seems a little daunting because you order separate all the ingredients separately from, it's not like one kind of bowl or something, which isn't terrible. It's just not something I've done before, so it feels like yakitori, but like all other stuff. But it's all in Japanese, so I can't really read it. I used Google Translate to translate the words. It didn't really translate correctly. I should have taken a picture of this translation so I could show a screenshot, but yeah, it was terrible. So yeah, after that, instead I just ordered a kimchi pork belly with a rice ball, which, you know, I needed something different from the constant udon, ramen, soba, noodle dishes I've been eating. Actually, speaking of which, I went to Yohaku, Osaka before, the day before I left Osaka. It was an amazing experience. All done by one person. And the food was really good. And it was totally different from what I've been eating, so that was a very welcome change. Anyway, I'm gonna stop this part of the vlog. Oh god, I bought Starbucks. So after Fukuoka, I'm speaking over myself here because I didn't capture my audio well. But after Fukuoka, I went to Toyoma, which was on the western coast of Japan, and it was a wash. Like, it was nice. I was planning to go check out the gorge, but I needed to do make a reservation 10 days prior to going, and the train to get there only happens once every 2 days or something. It wasn't a good trip or a date or time when I was there. The hotel was kind of scary. It seemed like something from the 40s. Thankfully, my time in Toyoma was pretty short, pretty much a day. I hightailed it to Morioka, which is on the eastern coast of Japan. And again, I was trying to find this really cool coast to walk and hike and sightsee, but I didn't make it. So instead, I found some pizza and soba, which I totally ate way too much of when I was here. So this coffee spot was one I frequented a lot when I was in Morioka. I found it to be one of the better ones. I know there's one that everyone says to go to, but it was just really out of my way. So this one was like right around the corner. It was pretty good. But what's really interesting about Morioka is that they have like 3 hair salons per block. So pretty much the entire time of me walking to the train station from my hotel room, I'd pass by like 3 hair salons per block. I guess Morioka's where you go for a haircut. This was a random walk-in, but then it turned out to be the place where I got a lot of my soba noodles and dinner and lunch. I did a lot of shrimp tempura, sweet potato tempura, all with their freshly made soba, and yeah, it was really good. Here, I got some really amazing Neapolitan pizza. I think according to Google, they won a couple awards for their pizza, but the sauce and the mozzarella was really good and fresh. So I think he noticed me shooting these videos, so he let me do a little video of them putting the pizza in the oven. I really should ask people to let me shoot some videos with them, but it's really hard. So on my last leg, I went back to Tokyo. I went to Bar Benfitic. The last time I was in Japan, I wanted to go, but I ended up not. I luckily was able to get in because I was a solo person. Otherwise, I'd have to make a reservation. Bar Benfitic is among the award winners from the 50 World's Best Cocktail Bars. The drinks were pretty good, but I have to say Friday, Saturday, Sunday's drinks were just as good or even better, to be perfectly honest. And I'm not being biased or subjective here. I definitely think Friday, Saturday, Sunday should be on that list. The drinks, well, that's for another video. The drinks here, they're pretty good, but I guess I still wonder the reasoning of why this bar and other bars are on that list. So I guess I have to go to each bar and try it out myself. So Glitch Coffee is really good, but they always try to push the really expensive coffee beans on you, which I totally get because it's business, but at the same time, trying to get people to pay $40 for coffee is a stretch, or a vibe. So I finally went to this Odin spot that I walked by the first time I was in Japan, and I tried out the Odin. Again, just like Fukuoka, I had no idea what to order or how to order. So afterwards, I went to Ramen Nukanji in Shibuya, to get my bowl of noodles. Harajuku. That street's pretty packed and busy. This coffee shop, they had geisha beans, which I thought was interesting, but their process of brewing it was not good. I left Tokyo for the day to hang out with my college friend who's been living in Japan since 2008, I think. He's been living here for a while. He has a wife and 2 kids who are pretty rambunctious. So my friend Matt, he took me to the park to check out some tea ceremonies and just families getting together, just hanging
Probably
out.
less people over there and they're like traditional Japanese.
I didn't shoot too many photos. It was just like checking out like old school houses, a Ghibli train. It was just fun hanging out with it. But the actual park, that sort, it was just a nice walkthrough. I wouldn't want to spend too much or too long there. I mean. Are you back? We're back. Alright, so that's the clips and highlights from Japan. And from fall 2023, I am as I mentioned before, I am planning to go back. This time with the Canon R5 Mark II, the 35, 50, and the 28mm. Hoping to be better-ish with my video. I'll obviously bring my laptop with me so I can transfer file backups. It's way easier to do a file backup with a laptop than my iPad, as I've learned in Japan that during that month of October. Excuse me. I did buy a Lanzi travel tripod, video tripod. I'm gonna have to see how much the weight will be to carry all that, at least just for it to go through the airport, to the hotels, through travel, the usual transportation before you get to the hotel. And at that point, I'll probably just be breaking things down, just take the only things I would take per day. So it'll probably just be like a 50mm in the camera and the tripod, or just one lens, one camera, maybe a light and microphones. That's it for the per day walk, day trips. But for the travel to the airport and all that stuff, to get to different cities, it would be, I would have to see how much it would feel to have my camera, 3 lenses, about, even though they're relatively light, the travel video tripod, 1 video light, or maybe just the Profoto C1 Plus, and my MacBook Pro, and see how that goes from there. We'll see. But thanks for hanging around and watching the video. I hope you're doing well. Have a good one. I gotta end these videos better. But I'll see ya.